Alright, so picture this. You're on a safari, the air is filled with the sounds of nature, the rustling of leaves and the distant calls of wild animals. You're in the heart of Africa, a place where the wild still reigns supreme. The sun setting in a blaze of colors, painting the sky with hues of orange, pink and purple. It's a scene straight out of a dream, a moment of pure magic. And suddenly, you spot a majestic rhino. Its sheer size and presence take your breath away. This creature with its thick skin and imposing horn looks like it stepped out of a prehistoric era. But here's the kicker, that breathtaking sight might soon become just a memory. Imagine a world where these magnificent beasts no longer roam the plains. Rhinos are disappearing at an alarming rate, their numbers plummeting faster than we can comprehend. And it's not for the reasons you might think. It's not just about poaching or habitat loss, it's a complex web of issues. Let's dive right into it. We need to understand the full scope of the problem to find a solution. First off, rhino horns. These horns are highly coveted not just for their appearance but for the myths surrounding them. They're like gold in the illegal wildlife trade. The demand is insatiable, driving prices through the roof. Some people believe these horns have magical medicinal properties, capable of curing everything from fevers to cancer. Even though scientifically they're made of keratin, just like your hair and nails. It's a tragic irony that something so ordinary is causing such extraordinary harm. Yet, these myths have fueled a black market that's driving rhinos to the brink of extinction. The demand is relentless and the consequences are devastating. And it's not just poachers we're talking about. The problem is much bigger and more organized than you might think. Imagine this. Organized crime syndicates armed like military units with resources that rival those of small armies. With helicopters, night vision and automatic weapons. These aren't just opportunistic hunters, they're highly trained and well-equipped. These guys are like something out of an action movie, but the stakes are real. The battle they're fighting is for profit, and they're ruthless. They're targeting rhinos and wiping them out one by one. Each rhino lost is a step closer to extinction. Now you might think, why don't we just protect them better? It seems like a simple solution, but the reality is far more complicated. Well, here's the brutal truth. Conservation is expensive. The costs are staggering and the resources are limited. Guards, equipment, patrols, it all costs a fortune. The financial burden is immense, and the funding is often insufficient. Nations with rhino populations are often strapped for cash, struggling to meet even basic needs, and can't match the resources of these well-funded poachers. The disparity is glaring and it's a battle of David versus Goliath. And then there's habitat loss. This is another critical factor that's often overlooked. As human populations grow, forests are cleared for agriculture and development, encroaching on the natural habitats of rhinos, squeezing rhinos into smaller and smaller spaces. Their world is shrinking and with it their chances of survival. It's like trying to keep a giant in a shrinking box. Eventually there's just no room left. The pressure is immense, and the consequences are dire. Eventually there's just no room left. The space they need to thrive is disappearing. But wait, there's a glimmer of hope. Amidst all the challenges there are rays of light. Dedicated conservationists are fighting back. These heroes are working tirelessly to turn the tide. From dehorning rhinos to make them less attractive targets to relocating them to safer areas, to high-tech solutions like drones and DNA analysis to track and catch poachers, the fight is becoming more sophisticated. There's a global effort to save these incredible creatures. It's a battle that spans continents and unites people from all walks of life, and you can be part of this epic fight. Every action counts and every voice matters. By supporting organizations that work to protect rhinos, you can make a difference. Spreading awareness and pushing for stronger wildlife protection laws are crucial steps. We can turn the tide. Together, we can create a future where rhinos thrive. So, next time you see a picture of a rhino, or hear about one in the news, remember this story. Think about the challenges they face and the efforts being made to save them. Rhinos aren't just ancient beasts roaming the earth. They're symbols of a battle we can't afford to lose. They're symbols of a battle we can't afford to lose. Their survival is intertwined with our own, and that, my friends, is the untold story of why rhinos are disappearing. It's a story of struggle but also of hope. Let's make sure it doesn't become a story about extinction. Let's ensure it's a story of survival and triumph. Thanks for listening, and let's all do our part to save these magnificent creatures. Together we can make a difference.